hold on, make sure. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. How
much
wood
could
a woodchuck chuck? A woodchuck could chuck wood.
I now brown cow.
A woodchuck would chuck a quarter chuck of wood of a cord wood.
What's up, guys? Today we are going to check out my buddy Brett's crawlers. He just converted his TRX4 into a four-wheel steer. I've actually never seen this. I have so many questions, and I started asking him, he started answering them, and I said, no, I don't want to hear it. We're going to do it on the air. So I'm going to give you a quick glimpse, not even a quick glimpse, a deep dive in his awesome four-wheel steer TRX4, which belongs to his son, and he is not happy about that.
No. Now I have to upgrade mine to match.
Let's take a look at his crawler. All right, here is Brett's beautiful crawler. So it's a TRX4. Looks like stock chassis rails, and my understanding on how you make these four-wheel steer, and I'm oversimplifying this, is you throw a front axle on the rear, right?
Yep, it's actually able to use the stock front axle in the rear, even use the same rear end links, just minus the one.
Almost just dropped it off the table. So you use the same, so you just use the same rear end links. You literally just put the axle on the rear.
Yep.
And then mounting the servo, obviously you have to have a steering servo on there. Did you have to drill holes into the chassis rail to get the steering servo to line up on the rear?
No, actually just used the front steering mount, moved it, and put one on the back, flipped it around, and used the factory holes for the rear shock tabs.
That easy, huh?
That easy.
All right, so tell me about these shock towers real quick, because obviously those aren't stock. Let's get all the non-stock stuff out of the way.
Shock towers, I wanted a little more adjustability so we could lay the shocks down, lower the center of gravity, give it a little more articulation. So, aftermarket shock towers, aftermarket shock keys, just to get the shocks to lay down a little farther.
And you know, you told me about droop setup by moving them forward or having them out forward. It's a better droop setup. Basically, droop setup is exactly like on spec slashes or race vehicles. The less droop you have, the less likely it's going to roll. So it's got less ability to have body roll. So I actually don't have these on mine. I keep all mine stock, but I do like that setup. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, it's actually able to get the factory chassis down to almost a low center chassis height by leaning them forward.
Really? That's pretty freaking awesome. And it looks like you have brass on the, dang, you have brass galore on this thing.
Yes, my son wanted to keep the factory Mercedes wheels, so a lot of times you can get a lot of weight by putting in aftermarket wheels. But he wanted to keep these, so brass it was for the axles.
And this cover, is this also brass? No, it's not. This is just
anodized aluminum.
And then you got all this stuff off of Amazon. Who makes all these brass pieces?
The brass pieces I actually got in Jora.
Really?
The only thing I really got off of Amazon was the aluminum red diff covers, and then the hot racing high clearance steering links.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, because these aren't stock either. High clearance steering links. I guess it just moves further away from the diff case, or the...
Well, on your factory setup, when you turn all the way to one side or the other, your steering link will actually come in contact with the diff case.
Ah.
So by giving it the little bit of kink in it, it'll keep it from touching.
Are you getting more steer, more throw doing that, or is it just because it just doesn't touch?
It just doesn't touch.
Yeah, that's what I figured, because I feel like I was still getting a lot of throw on the stock stuff. So I see you have the Fusion motor and ESC combo. This is a 2-in-1. I just did a review. I guess you could call it a review. I just got one of these in my truck. I absolutely love it. What's crazy about these, they're only $80. I'll put a link in the eye above where I did this video, but you just put this in, right?
Yes, after a glowing recommendation that I saw online, I had a guy tell me, you should put one of these in. Luckily, the factory motor decided, hey, I don't want to work anymore. So, upgraded.
Nice. I said it was funny because I sit there and look Brett in the eye. Did you just put this in? And I literally soldered this up for him and programmed it for him. I knew he just put it in. Why did I ask that? Okay, going to the battery tray. These looks like 3D printed pieces. Did you order this off of Etsy? Did you print this? Where'd you get all this stuff?
No, the battery tray and actually the mount for the front receiver box, 3D printed. Found them on eBay.
Really?
I think they were only about $10 each.
Wow, that's awesome.
But it gets the battery down into the chassis lower. The receiver box puts it more in line, so we have more center. We don't have any side-to-side balance issues.
Very nice. Can we power it on and you can do a little demo real quick?
Sure.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's just front steer. Rear steer. So you can just do rear steer.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Oh, there's your crab walk. So basically just goes side to side. And then 4-wheel steer. So freaking cool. So show me what you're doing with your thumb there, because you're using a stock radio.
Using a stock radio with the 3rd channel on it. Basically, when we hit this, it activates channel 3. In channel 3, we have plugged in, it's a powerhouse module, and it plugs in both the servos, and it's actually what's going to control the different steering modes. 4 different steering modes.
So you basically flip it up and down, and that changes the mode. And you flip it up and down again, it changes the mode again. So you're flipping it up and down, back and forth, to basically trigger that 3rd channel, to trigger that module to steer everything.
Yep.
So this module, what do you call this? The powerhouse module?
It's a Power Hobbies, sorry.
Power Hobbies.
Power Hobbies module, found it on Amazon for only about 15 bucks.
What do they call that module? What would they have to look for?
I think it was a 4-wheel steering module.
Okay, I'll try to find it and put in a link in the description. I see that there's only one servo plugged in here. You said both of them are plugged in.
They are. It's underneath here. If you see it, it goes opposite directions. I kind of wish they would have laid it out better, but there's one servo there. Here's one servo here, and then your input.
And then that plugs into your...
That plugs into your receiver in channel 1 and channel 3.
Ah, so that's why you have a channel. So it plugs in 2 different channels.
Yeah.
Very freaking cool. I would say we're going to get some footage of it actually ripping, but I don't... Actually, you know what? We should. We should go out. We don't have a body. All right, we're outside. It's a little rocky out here. We got a pile of rocks over there, but we're not going to do any actual crawling. I just want to show you guys how it works with the steering mode. So Brett's going to do a quick demo of just like the normal steering. I guess just go in circles in normal steering mode. So that's just normal steering, front steer. I mean, look at that turning radius. That's actually really big. You might want to check your endpoints, bud. All right, next one is rear steer. And this is an interesting mode because I have actually never seen or driven a truck that only had rear steer. I've had them have rear steer, but usually you got to do crab walk or 4-wheel steer. And then this one is, oh, this is my favorite. This is crab walking. So basically it can just shift side to side. That is, oh, to me, this is the coolest part about 4-wheel steer. And then the ultra steering, which is your true 4-wheel steer. And this is just, I mean, look at that. I mean, that turning radius is absolutely insane. Oh God, that is so good. What happened? You stopped the fun. There it is. Oh, guys, am I gonna need to do a 4-wheel steer TRX4? Oh man, that's so freaking cool. Brett, thank you for showing us your awesome 4-wheel steer crawler.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you guys his actual crawler. His crawler, again, that other one is his son's. I really like his crawler because he put something on his that I've been wanting to do on mine, which is the Endura carbon fiber chassis rails. Look at that. That looks so cool. So you don't even need shock towers after you get these.
No, these have the built-in ones.
Yeah, that's awesome. My goodness. That
see how much farther they have the adjustment points for these.
Oh yeah, so you can run a hardcore group setup.
Yep.
Did you have to do anything crazy whenever you put this kit in? Because I want to get one. Did anything need like holes drilled or?
Nope, no holes drilled. I would have a bag of washers for spacers. There's a couple of the suspension points where they have you bolted just straight to the frame. There's a little bit of binding.
Oh, I see.
A little more than I wanted, so I threw a couple spacers in between just to space it out from the chassis a little bit, and it freed it up a lot.
But everything, I guess you don't really have much stock, but everything stock should mount up to it just fine, huh?
The only thing that you have to get differently is your front servo mount. Your factory servo mount will not fit. I found this one on Amazon, I think 14, 15 bucks, and it flips it to the front side of your drag link, not the
back. Stock servo mount won't work?
Nope, it would mount back here. If I wanted to get crazy and drill some holes and try to get the geometry to fit, you could, but this was a lot easier. Just mounted it here, plus it also moved some of the weight out to the front a little more, help balance out for crawling.
I'm gonna try to remember to put all this stuff in the description. I probably won't be able to pull it off, but I really do like this. I want to build one of these really bad. I like his wheels too. He's got red wheels with the blue bead locks, and it matches his Texas flag. Look at that MSM on the back, always representing. Huge shout out to Brett. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Big supporter. But actually, this one's familiar, right? Is this?
This is actually the body off of a truck I got from you.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, this looks really familiar.
I took it off, and this was Dorothy.
Oh yeah.
The Twisters tribute truck that I made, but kept the body.
Very cool. But it matches. I mean, his wheels look so cool, and then he's got Proline Hyraxes. And then this is the other brush system I recommend. This is the Spectrum. What are they? 2300s? What we got?
2300 kV.
2-in-1s.
2-in-1s.
Yeah, they're great also, but I think they're $200 now. I mean, as much as I love it, it's freaking awesome. It has way more features and different settings that you can do with this one. However, that Fusion, man, $80.
I'm thinking this would probably be if you're doing more of trails only and need more of the speed.
Oh,
for
yeah,
your trails. Right. This would be a lot better. But the other one here, I think is gonna be perfect for rock crawling.
Yeah,
it has plenty of low end torque, pretty good speed.
Yeah.
So.
And this is a sport, so with this, that definitely goes fast enough than walking, way faster than walking. So, very cool crawlers, man. Thank you for showing us.
Yes, sir.
And guys, you gotta let me know in the comments. Am I building a four? Actually, if I do build a 4-wheel steer, I have a friend that's probably gonna build it for me.
You're building one. Well, let's be honest. You're Mark Santa Maria. You're building two.
There you go. Thanks for watching, guys.